together, Nobiling.
So I'm gonna hold it. So, I know, right? And other things happened after that. So I work in the operating room, and it's kind of a stressful job. I totally lost my shit today. Not in the case, luckily, so I didn't have anybody's guts in my hand when I lost my shit, or theirs. But I just completely went off the handle and I went a little bit insane. And it's never happened to me at work, and luckily, you know, we have a wide variety of intelligent people there, for the most part. And one of the doctors, one of the anesthesiologists was there, and he's a very smart guy. He says he is. He's from Thailand, and I'm sure he's been here for at least 2 or 3 decades, but he still hasn't gotten a grasp of the English language. So I'm sitting there, I'm freaking out, losing my mind, I'm storming down the hall, and he comes up to me, and I was upset over, you know, something that's going to happen months down the road that's inevitably going to go against my favor. And he comes up to me, and his best logic is never logical. He looks at me and says, Heather, how can you know? How can you know what's going to happen month down the road? How can you know? And he's trying to talk sense to me in his broken English. And his logic is, you never know. You can never know what can happen in the future. You just cannot know. Like, I cannot say, oh, I think tomorrow maybe my car will break down, so maybe I will go anywhere today. You cannot know. You cannot just guess. So after 5 minutes of having my brain rattled with broken English, I calmed down enough to realize that at least I'm not him. And I went on with my day. And it's things like that that just, you know, put a smile on my face and just, you know, make me realize that my life could be worse. Here's an instance of how my life was worse once. I have kids. Yeah, well, that's not what's worse. I mean, sometimes it is. But I have kids and 2 boys. And one time, this is when I had first moved into my house, we had my dad's futon, which of course he was very particular. It's futon, come on. But, you know, gotta take care of it. But I treated my kids to some Whiteys, some mint chocolate chip ice cream, and we were eating. And my little one was sitting next to me. He was 5 at the time, and he had spilled some of the chocolate from the mint chocolate chip ice cream on the futon. I'm like, well, I can't have that. So being a food conservationalist, that's a word I made up, but it works. I picked up the chocolate because it's chocolate, and I put it in my mouth. And as soon as I bit down on that dark brown piece, I realized instantly, as my mouth went dry, that it wasn't chocolate. It was poop. It was shit. Yeah. And so as I sit there, I'm leaning forward, my mouth is hanging open because I bit down on it so it crumbled, but I didn't swallow. And my mouth is hanging forward. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got chocolate. It's shit. I got shit in my mouth. So I'm sitting there. The drool is pooling, mind you. And so I start, the first thing I think of is the bathroom. So I run past the kitchen, which actually has running water in a sink, all the way up 15 of the steepest, narrowest stairs, through the bedrooms, into the bathroom, and I start spitting and rinsing and spitting and rinsing. And I look up and spread my teeth in the mirror, and of course it looks like I've got a mouthful of shit because I've been eating mint chocolate chip ice cream. So, needless to say, I brush and I floss and I fluoridate and I rinse, and until the mouth is clear, and I sit there, collect myself, and I call my best friend. I'm like, Amy, you're never gonna guess what happened. She's like, what's the matter? She's like, are you okay? Are the boys okay? I'm like, yeah, everything's fine, but I can't talk about it right now. Can't talk about it. She's like, well, but are you okay? Are you hurt? Is your car? Everything's fine. I can't talk about it right now. I just want to let you know in about a week. I'll tell you what happened. Now, the worst thing is, beyond the fact that I almost, but did not eat shit, almost, is, okay, we had cats, you know, but I knew that it wasn't cat shit. I knew that it was human shit. Now I know what you're all thinking. You're out there thinking, how can you know? How can you know? Well, I'm not going to go into the story about when I was 5 years old with a diaper in the driveway with a stick poking at my dirty diaper. I'm not going to go there. Instead, I'm going to talk about one other aspect of my life that brings great humor to everybody around me, and it's my dating life. This is, I'm just going to do this one. This is a song, it's a culmination of many of the people that I've actually dated, went on a date with, and or met. This song is called Taco Time. And it's completely up for interpretation what that means. a cute guy. At the end of the bar, I can't see details as far, but he smiles my way. So with a wink and a coy little glance, I ask if he wants to dance, and we start to sway. But then he opens his mouth up to speak, and his gingivitis causes me to flee. So I'm thinking, is it taco time for me? There's a dude driving by down the street. He's the ice cream NC, and I think we should meet, because I make great decisions. Turns out he's nice, and he's sweet, kind of cute, a good kisser to boot, and he brings me free treats. But without all his bipolar meds, too much weed, and that pesky former felony, I'm still thinking, maybe it's taco time for me. There was a fat milk-breathing Brooklyn dick and a LARPing Lutheran priest, a lisping basement-dwelling booger man, a sexual pyromaniac beast, Aquanet. There's a clown, the fire-breathing kind, and he juggles sometimes, and he likes to role-play. In a kilt, with a sweet ponytail and a shirt of chainmail, and he asked me to stay. So I replied in my best elf impression that our two races could never love in peace. Are you starting to see why it's taco time for me? But there's more. A cross-dresser from Chicago, bobblehead aficionado, chunky photographer. Meathead powerlifting ginger guy with half a missing finger, and a middle-aged punk rocker, former Aryan brotherhood biker who's done time, astral projecting witch who's really into ghost huntery. After all of these dorks and two storks, it's probably taco time for me. Thank you. All sadly true. And I plan, though, I'm putting this all into a self-help novel for all the single ladies out there, based on an email I received from a man on a dating site once. The title of the book is going to be A Foot in My Mouth, How I Deep-Throated My Way to the Man of My Dreams. I'm Heather Nobiling, and if you liked what you saw, an all-female comedy show is coming up at this spot next Friday. Come see me and a bunch of other funny ladies. Thank you.